How is everyone doing today? It is September 18th of 2022. This is a really cool pepper that I wanted to show. Most of the peppers in our yard, we wanted to get to ripe so we could try them ripe and green when we did our videos, but some of these peppers are just taking too long to get moving along, and I want to show them regardless of the stage that we can get them to. Our cold season's moving in really quick, and we probably have till the beginning of October before we'll start having some major challenges in freezing. But anyways, this is the fish pepper. It's one that I like to call a part of the Horace Pippin's trifecta. It would be the Pippin's Golden Honey, the fish pepper, and the Buena Mulatto. We've grown the Buena Mulatto quite a few times. We have it in our yard. I don't think it's in good enough shape to probably try to do a video on this year, but I might give it a shot. This here is the fish pepper, and it is definitely an heirloom. It's been around for a really long time. It's a variegated pepper plant, which is pretty rare. If you can see, there's all sorts. Even down to the flower heads. And it's a super producer as well. So pan back on it a little bit. I'm going to trim out some of this outside edge because I want it to get a little bit more breathing room and stuff, as it's kind of crowded up in this section here. I don't know if we'll be trying this one on camera just because of the fact that we're going to use these ones for pickling, the ones that are going along. We've grown this pepper before. The internet shows the Scoville Units as being between 5 and 30,000. That's a pretty big gap. So, and we have noticed that as well. Some of them seem super hot, and some of them seem kind of mildish. 5,000 would be like a mild jalapeno all the way up to a mild cayenne. So that's a big difference in heat per pepper. I'm not sure if the different variegation on them. Let's take some of this excess off. Alright, so got that trimmed up. I might even spin it around here. Let it get some good sun on this other side in this spot. Look at all the peppers on here though. Look at the different variegation in color, and I'll pull a bunch of these peppers off in just a second. It is an absolute standout in the yard. We're not big fans of heat. Some of these peppers are pretty hot, but we have pickled these in the past, and they are excellent as little pickles, as used for garnishment with dishes and stuff like that. This one, some of them have less variegation, some of them have a little bit more. This one is a huge variegated one. So I'm going to let what's left on here go fully to ripen. There's probably about 15 peppers on there, and I will take these right here and just pop these off. Look at that coloration on that. So it's a variegated pepper plant, which doesn't happen very often. There are some ornamentals and other types of smaller type pepper plants that do. This is actually an heirloom like this though. They call it the fish pepper because it was served with fish a long time ago near the East Coast. I say it's a part of the Pippin trifecta because there's a good story behind this pepper, the Buena Mulatto, and the Pippin's Golden Honey. And that story is pretty complicated. I probably don't have time to explain it in a video, but I might get a chance to it in the future. But the seeds come from I believe a singer and painter named Horace Pippin that collected these seeds from various sources and had given them to a pepper breeder. and then those seeds were found in a vault from that person back in the 1960s. So they would have been an heirloom regardless of having a prior history, but there's a pretty rich history on these. For example, the Buena Mulatto and the Pippin's Golden Honey, it's a lot harder to find the history on those two peppers than it is on this one. This one right here has been proven to existed for at least probably a couple hundred years. So I'm just going to harvest enough off of here to pickle. Look at the variegation, how pretty this plant is. Sometimes when it's very first starting to grow, it looks like it's almost like dying, or something's wrong with the plant, but it's nothing wrong with the plant. It's just the way it goes. Some of these smallest ones here I might not use. It'll really help the plant too, because it'll kind of stress the plant, taking all that stuff off, and it can focus the nutrients it'd be using to try to get these ones going, to try to ripen out those other ones. This is a definite I would love to save seeds on. Our seeds from our past grows and stuff like that just didn't seem to grow the same afterwards. I'm not sure if it hit a cross and we just couldn't tell, or if it was something else, but I really want as many seeds on this type as I can. It's one of our yard favorites just because of pickling. We are big fans of pickling our peppers along with other vegetables, and we usually just take like one or two of these and toss it in our batches of like pickled carrots and maybe even green tomatoes, things like that. All right, so look at all these colors, or all this variegation on here. Some of them come out like completely white, some of them come out as like this. Before we pickle them, I'll probably snap these end pieces off right here. It was served with seafood in a lot of fish dishes on the East Coast a long time ago. Even predating 1960, I believe, is when the seeds were rediscovered in that, in a freezer of a pepper grower a long time ago. So they're showing growed out dates of 1944, I believe. But it was served with fish dishes on the East Coast, even predating that. So a really unique pepper, a really cool looking plant. We're a sucker for, you know what I mean, anything that looks super unique in the yard. This looks like about enough for a jar of pickles, which is really cool. I don't think I'm going to take these inside and test them. Their Scoville units can range from 5 to 30,000. They do have a little bit of thunder, but it's really a sharp crack of like lightning heat right at the very beginning. It really good in pickling. It kind of numbs the heat out a little bit, or it kind of spices up the rest of the jar if you just put one or two in here. We're going to do a whole bunch, and then we'll use them in one jar like this, and then we'll use them for pickling. We'll pickle the jar like that, and then we'll use them for like a garnishment or something. We'll open up that jar. We love canning pickles, and this has got to be one of our favorites. I'd say in my top 3 favorite pickling peppers, as well as if you're a fan of heat and you don't mind a little bit of a gamble, 5 to 30,000 is a big distance on just trying them out. I'm not sure if the variegation means anything on the heat or not, but UT Angel and Kiddo, it's September 18th of 2022. Just wanted to show this pepper to everybody. It's called the fish pepper, and we love you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. All right, got our farm market carrots. Got a red onion, I believe we got from the market as well. Got some of those little beak peppers, the piquino. Got some garlic. I think that's from the store. Got a bunch of the fish peppers. Probably get some more herbs and spices and things like that we have saved or gotten from our local market, and pickle these right up. So our favorite use for the fish pepper, an excellent well-rounded pepper, a little bit of a thunder and lightning kick to the heat, and man, I love eating these when they're pickled up. Let them set for about a month or two, and good to go. So all right, so I trimmed that pepper plant down a little bit more. We've been putting 2 peppers in each of our 5-gallon buckets. When I come to trimming it back a little bit, everything that was left on this was just plant. So I took one of these plants completely out here. Almost everything that we had taken off had come from this one plant right here. So it might do better singled, but I wouldn't really mind doubling this plant again if I got an opportunity. I think that the other one just kind of got crowded and flooded over. A lot of our problems this year have to do with micromanagement of our pepper wall. We should have been pulling peppers off earlier. We should have been trimming back, but life just hit us so quickly and hard. For a little while there, we were challenged so much we didn't get an opportunity to. So look at the colors on these. Really beautiful variegated plant, ornamental, really useful for pickling or just hot pepper eating if you don't mind. It's a lot of the ones we have eaten have probably ranged around 10 to 20,000 Scoville units, but I don't think we've ever hit a one that you would consider enough mild. So it is a pretty spicy pepper. There's a pretty cool one back here too. So there's probably another at least 15 peppers on this plant, and it's not that big. I trimmed this one way back after getting all those others off. So we are going to pickle the ones we got off of here, and I think out of all the plants and all the videos we've done in our yard, this, and all the friends and family that have come to visit the garden while it's doing well, this is the plant that stands out the most. So it's got a really cool growing, unique plant, really useful, good peppers that grow on it. The name fish pepper is probably not the coolest name. There's probably a lot of cooler names out there. The Buena Mulatto is a cool name. Pippin's Golden Honey is a cool name, and those are other ones that came from the same seed direction. But really, really great heirloom. I would highly recommend anybody who doesn't mind a little bit of heat and also likes, say, pickling or just snacking on semi-hot peppers. So I know that we have some friends that are super hot pepper fans and can handle this one. We're not trying them on camera this time because we want to use them all for pickling, and if I get an opportunity I might try it a little later when they're ripe too. The heat does kick up quite a bit when they're ripe, more when they're ripe, but not a lot more. Some of them will vary. The Buena Mulatto, for example, that pepper, when it's purple, it's really, really low heat. It's about 5 to 10,000 Scoville. Sometimes there's almost no heat on them. But as soon as they turn red, man, they just hop up to about 30 to 40,000 Scoville units. So that one is one that escalates in heat. This one probably already sits at like 10 and probably only escalates to about 20. But we haven't seen any that have been probably 30,000, and none of them that have been about as low as 5, even though the internet shows that these can have a variation. I think that they're just trying to show how much that scale will slide. So I know that our videos are sometimes long and stuff. I know that this might not be the best look at this pepper. Almost anybody can grow better than this. All of our grows are crowded and under duress. Not the optimal growing situation. So when we get anything, especially a productive pepper like this, we want to show a strong plant. It may not look that strong in our yard, but under the circumstances, for it to make it through to the end like this and be able to do a good look at it is a success in my book. So we love you guys, the fish pepper, and catch you next time again.